Hey everyone, let's talk about the headline you're hearing everywhere. Christopher Nolan's first-time foray into ancient myth, the Odyssey, just shattered the usual Hollywood drama over its so-called woke casting. It's wild how an epic that's almost 20 minutes long, a story about Bronze Age warriors, could become the center of a modern identity crisis, yet the numbers speak for themselves. People lined up in Arnie Town for 2-hour blocks, and the IMAX screens sold out. In fact, Nolan's film raked in $264 million worldwide on its opening weekend. That is a staggering result for an epic film that runs 3 hours. Critics said it's a classic, and the online rabble-rousers who initialize, like Elon painted heated Twitter threads, calling the film woke for its casting decisions, have mostly gone quiet, or at least drowned out by the overwhelming success of the movie. The last films that stirred that particular controversy were still quite different in the Hollywood pipeline, but with Nolan's reputation, there's a much more vigorous conversation cropping up. Instead of focusing only on who's playing who, the debate has turned toward larger questions. The scenes have a discourse that actually matters to Western society in an era of an identity crisis. When is war justified? What moral limits do we owe enemies? What transgressions deserve ultimate punishment? And who decides the common values of civilization? These are offset of film and the film's main argument. The epic is about the abuse and neglect of Xenia, the Greek god's sacred code of hospitality that requires treating strangers as honored guests. In the original myth, Odysseus' clever Trojan horse trick, that led to the fall of Troy, violated Xenia by misleading the city's residents into believing they were receiving a gift. In Christopher Nolan's retelling, that deceit becomes something that haunts Odysseus for a longer moral failure, something that continues to bother him while he attempts a 10-year journey back home. Odysseus's betrayal of Xenia is not the only failing plagued in the film. He's also overwhelmed with shame over abandoning his family and losing all of his men. In Nolan's vision, these issues weigh on Odysseus in a way that many scholars say is scarcely found in Homer's original. For instance, Michael Brendan Doherty, a conservative commentator, wrote on X that the film isn't woke, that it's closer to his own view than Homer's. He pointed out that the Odyssey's hero is morally horrified by war, while Homer's version portrays war as normal and potentially glorious. Classicist Emily Hauser then noted that the film shows a modern hero who learns remorse for the atrocities he commits, spends a lot of time trying to excuse himself for losing all his men, and ultimately pays homage to them in a final journey that Homer never had. This mapping of contemporary Western values onto the plot of a Greek epic poem is the true artistic ambition of Nolan's film, and it moves the conversation into a debate about war, risk, value, and a larger ethical landscape. It makes a better political debate than any comment about colorblind casting or abstract diversity initiatives. The condescending critique that the film is somehow woken or privilege-driven is predictable. Meanwhile, Frequency, the film has proved sincerely insightful. It's an invitation to revisit the topological motifs of story and M.